Welcome back, Frac Crew. I'm Jared with Frac Daddy Barbecue. Guys, it's a little early this morning, as you can tell. I've got my cup of coffee here. But today, I want to tell you how you can achieve Franklin Style Brisket on your pellet smoker. You don't have to have a Green Mountain grill. You don't have to have a Pit Boss. You can use any kind of pellet cooker you have, and I'll show you how to get the same results as Aaron Franklin does without having to wait in Aaron Franklin's line. Okay guys, so there's been this huge internet craze that the mad scientist has started, that he believes he knows what Aaron Franklin's secret is for his perfect brisket, and he thinks that's beef tallow. Harry Sue has been doing so many experiments, like he's done like 11 or 12, and I really hope that this brisket is going to maybe put my hypothesis to the test that says Aaron Franklin does not use beef tallow on his briskets. So first things first, let's talk brisket. Now, one of the most important things you're going to have to remember when you want to achieve an Aaron Franklin status brisket, you got to start with quality. Now, I know for a fact Aaron Franklin uses Creekstone Farms Black Angus briskets. Now, if you want to achieve this, I would suggest you go prime or higher. Now, what we have here is we have a Black Angus prime brisket from Dean and Peeler's in Poth, Texas. So we're going to cut this open and we're going to take a deeper look into this brisket. This is honestly my first time ever cooking a Black Angus, and as I can tell just from this brisket, you can tell this is a much darker, deeper red, good quality beef. Now, Melissa and I both agree that we don't really have to do much trimming on this brisket except for this decal right here, which is totally normal on all briskets. So we are going to just trim this out just a little bit. But if you guys do want to see more of a detail when it comes into trimming a brisket, I'm going to link my Aaron Franklin video and I'm going to show you guys how I trimmed a brisket on that. Now, here comes the seasoning process. We're going to be using classic kosher salt. Now, you see a lot of people, they'll use mustard or they'll use all kinds of other stuff to use a binder on their brisket. But you know what? That's not what Aaron Franklin does. We're keeping it very simple, which is kosher salt. Now, this looks like quite a bit of salt, but you have to remember, this is a big cut of meat and it can take a lot of salt. The most important part to a traditional Texas brisket, you gotta have coarse black pepper. And Melissa and I, we love black pepper. Let's talk about the next step, which is gonna be your pellet smoker. Who says pellet smokers don't put off good smoke? My Green Mountain grill does, so let's talk about this thing. So first step we wanna do is we're gonna be setting our Green Mountain grill to 225. Now, this is gonna be the crucial deal. These pellet cookers, they run hotter than what a normal cooker does because you have your heat source, which is right below. And I found 225 is perfect on pellet cookers. Now, to keep this traditional Central Texas style brisket, I'm using post oak. Why post oak? Because that's what Aaron Franklin uses. Why don't you just call me Post Oak Malone? Because that's what I like to cook with. Alright, let's put this beautiful brisket on my Jim Bowie Green Mountain grill. Remember, I want to put it fat cap down, and I believe what we're going to do is we're going to take this point, we're going to put it towards the smokestack. Whew! Guys, now that we're cooking, let me tell you about something. You guys heard of hot girl summer? Welcome to hot grill summer. Guys, we're going to be doing a series this whole summer of nothing but grilling outdoors, from side dishes to desserts to main dishes. So be on the lookout for hot grill summer. Alright, it's been about 3 hours. Now we're going to check our brisket to see if our seasoning's set and if it's time to start spritzing with water and apple cider vinegar mix. Well, our brisket is starting to dry out. Looks like our seasoning is starting to set. So I'm just going to take my spritzer and we're going to try to keep this as moist as we can during the cooking process so it doesn't dry out. And we're going to do this about every 30 to 45 minutes until we decide we got the perfect color and we want to wrap it. So I just probed my brisket and we're not at 165, but what I want to do is I want to take this off and I want to protect the flat of my brisket because that point dries out a little quicker than normal. Alright, so now we're going to get this back on and we're going to let it cook. So my brisket hit 165. That's the point you want to pull your brisket and wrap in butcher paper. Now what I've seen Aaron Franklin do is he'll spritz his brisket one more time to give it some extra moisture before he wraps it. Now what I like to do is you can see that it's double layered, and if you come over here, you're gonna fold this, you're gonna fold this side, and then you're gonna wrap. So you do it once, and then what I like to do is I like to pull it in nice and tight so your butcher paper is nice and tight. And then one more time. And then one more. And there we have it. There's a perfectly wrapped brisket. Now we're going to set this in a foil pan. Now the next step, we're going to go put this back on the smoker. And we're going to wait till it hits an internal temperature of 205 to 206. And that should be perfectly nice and jiggly like Aaron Franklin's. So our brisket has been cooking for 16 hours at 225. And you guys see this butcher paper? This is soaked in beef fat and beef juice. And we got all kinds of juice in the pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in my Yeti cooler with some towels to let it rest till the morning time. So make sure you don't use your wife's good towels. If you have a good wife like I do, she went and bought me my very own brisket towels. We'll see you in the morning. So it has been 26 hours since we started the process of smoking this brisket on my Green Mountain Grill. Now one thing you do have to remember that Aaron Franklin always does say, you can't rush perfection when it comes to a brisket. And this is proven to be why. People always get in a rush because they got family coming. You don't let your guests dictate when you're going to eat. You eat when this is ready and you know for a fact. Now let's come in here and take a closer look. After resting all this time, this brisket is still nice and warm. And let me tell you something, there is no beef tallow added to this butcher paper or to the brisket, and look how wet with oil, natural oil and fats from this brisket there is. Let's unwrap this and let me show you how beautiful it is. Alright, let's take her out of the foil pan and let's unwrap it. Ooh, it's nice. Guys, look at all this fat that has just come from this brisket. Don't tell me that you have to add extra beef tallow to your briskets when you have this kind of fat rendering. Alright, moment of truth. Guys, look at the... oh my goodness, look at this. Now be careful when you unwrap this, because you are going to have a lot of fat and drippings. And this is why I believe you do not have to add beef tallow to a brisket, because look at the fat glistening off of this brisket. It is amazing. Now be careful when you do this, because you are going to have a lot of moisture left. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to start cutting. Look at the glistening off of this brisket. You can tell that we have a beautiful smoke ring. Our fat was rendered perfectly and it's still very moist for the lean. Let's do the pull test. As you can see, it just pulls apart very, very easily. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into my favorite part. We're going to get into the fatty part. So just kind of look for where it jiggles, and you can see where it starts jiggling about right here. So we're going to come in here, we're going to cut this. Now this is Melissa's favorite part, so we try to save a lot of this for her, right babe?
Oh yeah.
Now what you have to realize with the brisket, now some people get pissed off when you do this, because I'm not going to do it. People squeeze their briskets and let all that juice come out, We don't do that here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to turn this 90 degrees and we're going to start cutting this way because grains run different on the fatty part of the brisket. And usually cut these a little bit bigger. So this end cap right here, Aaron Franklin likes to call this the ribeye cut. As you can see why. Look at all this fat and marbling right here. What you can do is you can turn this into little brisket chunks or burnt ends, and this will be amazing. So what I have gathered from this, I really think that all these videos and just doing this, I've debunked what people are trying to say. My personal opinion is start off with quality beef, keep it simple, salt and pepper. Don't rush your cook, let your brisket rest as long as it needs to, and then you're gonna have quality brisket time and time again. So guys, don't think I'm bashing anyone who's done these videos, but me personally, I don't think you need to add beef tallow to a simple cut of brisket like this. I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video and sticking through this whole process. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this, they're going to be coming around. And don't forget, #HotGrillSummer 2021.